What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to try to answer a difficult question. I got a comment on one of my videos and I was like, that seems like a video topic. So hopefully this video can bring some value to you. And the comment was asking, how do you cure hypersensitivity? And whenever it comes to hypersensitivity, there's many different levels to it, right? For some of you, you're just in a slightly hypersensitive state. Maybe you're doing a lot of good things and you're slowly starting to desensitize and your nervous system is settling down a little bit, but you still feel things more than other people. And then some of you are in a moderate hypersensitivity state where it's, throughout the day, you feel things pretty much throughout the day, but it's not unbearable. And then we sometimes go through these cycles where some of you are caught up in them for months, but some of you at least go through them for a period of a few days to a few weeks where you're in an extreme hypersensitive state where the panic attacks seem to happen all throughout the day. You're always feeling things in your body, whether it's caused by anxiety or not. Sometimes even normal sensations will be very frightening whenever you're in a hypersensitive state. I mean, you can feel food going through your freaking digestive system. You can feel any little twitch or any kind of, even me getting things like chills would freak me out and they'd feel intense, a lot more intense than they would if I wasn't dealing with anxiety. So think of this big cycle of kind of like having anxiety disorder and having at least a little bit of hypersensitivity that will eventually wear off as you get closer towards recovery. But within that big cycle, right, we have these like smaller cycles where we have a really hard, crappy 2 weeks. And I guess the goal is to try to get out of those faster. And it's really about handling. It's hard to get out of it once it gets started. It's possible, and we'll cover some things, but I want to really emphasize how important it is to do better with your thoughts and your actions whenever you first feel something that's new, or whenever you've been good and you have a panic attack that first day after it's been like weeks or months. If we can handle that first day better than what we have in the past, and that's the idea, we want to learn from our past mistakes, then we can prevent this from turning into a 2-week period of time where it's just panic every day and constant high levels of hypersensitivity, or it can turn into months where we just have so many things going on in our body. We're having all the panic, we're having all the symptoms, our fear has been re-sparked. And guys, something that has to do with this is the stress hormones. Now that we're having panic and it's just this vicious cycle, now adrenaline is getting dumped into our body over and over and over again. The cortisol in your body starts to get elevated, so that's going to just create more anxiety and more symptoms. It's going to be difficult to sleep, right? So you're not getting much sleep at night. You're having anxiety-related insomnia, nocturnal panic attacks, and then guess what? In the morning, you feel like crap because you didn't get a lot of sleep. So what do you think that's going to do to your anxiety? So you can just see how this momentum can go in the wrong direction. So the best thing to do is whenever you have a really bad day and you haven't had a rough day for a while, change your behaviors from how you handled it the past time. So guys, I had to move locations. The flies won. All right. So we want to try to nip this in the butt the first day. The first day is super freaking crucial. That's whenever we need to double down on the things that are already working in our overall mental health. We want to double down on those things because, hey, you need them even more whenever you feel something new, or whenever you feel something that you felt in your past and it's just coming back and it's like a shock to the system, right? If you haven't had an anxiety attack in a few weeks or a few months and you have one, it's rough, right? It's almost like you're not as used to it. So it's kind of a shock where it's like, is this a heart attack? Because I thought I was getting better, right? So there's a lot of different emotions, a lot of different thoughts that go through our head whenever these cycles try to start up. And the idea is like you have to double down on the things that that work or that's gotten you out of the last cycle that first day. Hell, the first few hours, hell, the first few minutes or first few seconds, right? Hopefully that process didn't stress you out. But we want to respond the right way within a few seconds. So an example, let's say that you've been doing decently okay. You still struggle with some negative thoughts, some intermittent symptoms, but you have an old familiar symptom with your chest pain, and then it started to give you a panic attack. Let's do something fast this time, right? Let's do something fast. There's many different ways to respond to your symptoms. I'm either going to go take an ice cold shower to desensitize, or I'm going to do some exercise to prove to myself that I'm healthy so I can use that to calm myself down. I know it seems a little ironic. For some of you, you get triggered when you do exercise. It's going to happen sometimes. But for me, that was a good way for me to say, hey, if this was a heart attack, you know, it would have gotten worse. It wouldn't be the same, or it wouldn't have gotten better, right? See, my heart is healthy. You know, my heart is strong. This is, again, is anxiety. It's a panic attack, right? Take an action to prove to your subconscious. But also, guys, you just need to double down on the positivity to your subconscious and giving the context of safety, right? Well, you're safe because of this. Don't just say, okay, we're good. Give context. Why are we safe? Go through all your evidence. I made a video about this a few days ago, I think, where I was talking about look to your past. Look to the evidence that you already have that, you know, these thoughts are not you, or they don't define you, or that this symptom is anxiety and it's not a medical emergency, right? But you have to be fast. So the idea is to nip these things in the butt whenever you have a really bad day, when you've been good for a while, because then that can start to snowball effect. And if we have a really bad first day, and let's say we just let the anxiety just take us for a ride and we respond in fear all day, we don't really do any of the things that we know are good for our mental health, because hell, it's hard whenever anxiety punches you in the mouth. It is hard to do the things that you need to do. You don't use the cold water that day. You don't want to do the exercise because you really believe something's wrong. You have all these thoughts going through you. These symptoms are so intense and you don't respond the right way. Okay. So let's say you wake up the next morning, anxiety's probably gonna be rough, and you're like, okay, I gotta start doing the right stuff. Guess what, guys? For most of you, you're gonna probably stay in a hypersensitive state that's higher than usual, at least for a week, even though you're trying to do all the right stuff that you should have done day one. So the idea, let's don't put ourselves in these extreme hypersensitive states. That's what I'm really talking about right here. Extreme hypersensitive states by doing all the wrong stuff, not really taking what we've learned from our past that's helped us get out of a cycle, or just stuff that's overall good for our mental health, you know, and we're not doing the right stuff, right, quickly enough. Guys, the first few seconds, the first few minutes are crucial. And overall, yeah, the first day is going to implicate how the next 2 to 3 weeks or a month are going to go, even whenever you're trying to do the right stuff. And then it just gets really frustrating, because then you're doing everything that you can and you still are feeling everything for a couple weeks more than usual, right? More than the regular. So we got to be fast. But yeah, you can get out of it. You can get better for sure. But the idea is, like, let's not let it get horrible, right? Let's try to do what we can the first day. Guys, tons of resources down below in the description. Check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. It's helping a lot of people. Be a part of that if you haven't gotten it. So many of you have been getting it lately. I'm very, very thankful for that. And also, guys, congrats on being proactive towards your mental health. It's going to help you out. One-on-one coaching, right? That's down below as well. Email me and I'll send my information out to you so we can talk on the phone. It's more personalized help. And then there's a link for online therapy, guys. I love you all. I'm about to try to get this video up hopefully before the solar eclipse. I'm excited about that. So check that video out later this afternoon. These flies are really, really attacking me. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I love you all. Bye.